Chronic stress can literally shrink your brain and make it harder to think and focus and, of course, manage your emotions. But the good news is your brain can also rewire itself for resilience. In fact, a Stanford University study found that stress did also increase your cortisol levels, which can lead to memory loss and emotional dysregulation. But like I said, you can rewire your brain, rewire your emotions. Pretty much you can change your mind to change your life. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dr. Erica Steele. I'm a board certified naturopathic doctor. I hold 7 degrees in my field. They're all in the natural healthcare space, except for the last one, which is a business degree. But I like to say that I went to school so that you don't have to. And so all this month, we've been talking about the heart and heart health. And so this week, my Lunch and Learn is about stress and stress management. If you're interested in having all of the content that I have surrounding the heart, including stress and the stress webinar and various other components, I did another webinar last week. So lots of goodies in that wellness collective. It's like an incubator and a container. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the link below. And also too, if you just want to register for the stress webinar, we do have a link to get that replay. All right. So how does stress impact your brain function? So let's talk about what we call the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal axis, right? And so hypothalamus then triggers various different components within the brain, within the hormonal system, and away we go. So the amygdala can be overloaded, the limbic system, which is your emotional part of your brain, and then that amygdala, which is really that fight or flight center, again, overload, dumping cortisol, dumping epinephrine, right? And now you feel, you're tense, you're clammy, you're anxious, all of those things. That's all a whole orchestra of chemical reactions that's happening. And so signs that your body and your brain has really been under stress. I found that when I really understood my brain was under stress is I would have a hard time, thinking, in terms of shifting my thoughts. I would get overwhelmed really easily. If people were coming to me with lots of questions, which of course is the role of a doctor, I would shut down or I would get upset. Like it would really be very irritating and overstimulating for my body because of stress. And so I had to really learn how to calm and tone my nervous system. And that's really where I found a lot of solace in activities like breath work and yoga and meditation, especially techniques like Kundalini yoga, which is a neuroscience-based type of yoga. It's been studied. And so it really helps the brain just activate different parts that really need healing, combined with, modalities like biofeedback and neurofeedback and neurostem. But even just working with my body and working with my breath and working with my heart rate really helped me to be able to rewire my brain. So, getting away from the irritability and maybe the forgetfulness, that became really a thing of the past as I began to almost train my brain to be healthier. And so how are the ways that we do that? We'll get into it in the webinar really in depth, but we really want to understand that our brain is neuroplastic, and so it can shift and change. And so we just have to change our minds. And once we change our minds, then we open up to many possibilities. So we want to get our circadian rhythm, back into balance, making sure our sleep patterns are optimized, making sure we have a more proactive instead of reactive state. So that's where my morning flow classes came in, where it really set the intention and set the tone of the day. If you're not familiar with those classes, I host them at 6 a.m. Eastern. There's also a playlist if you want to catch some of the replays. And really, it's just about movement, right? And meditation. We'll do a Kundalini meditation. Within, we do some journaling really to create and script for our day. And then lastly, we plan our day. And so this has really been a very near and dear technique and tool for me to stay proactive and aware throughout the day so that I'm not at the effect of my day. So if you want to learn more about stress, how stress affects you, how it impacts you, we're going to look at different components. We're going to kind of break it down into internal stress and external stress, and we're going to help you to understand it. So definitely check out the stress webinar tomorrow for my Lunch and Learn Thursday. If you're catching this after this is posted or whatnot, there is a link below that you can register for that webinar and get the replay. So looking forward to it. Please like, share, subscribe, keep the comments coming, keep the questions coming. I love answering anything that you have to ask me about stress or about holistic health in general.